Welcome to Reds Focus LFC fans. Today we bring you the top 4 breaking Liverpool news headlines. Let's dive in. First one. Chelsea at war with Liverpool over Rio Ngumoha as Premier League forced to intervene. Chelsea continued to battle for compensation after losing Rio Ngumoha to Liverpool almost a year ago, with the teenage sensation showcasing his quality as the Premier League are forced into making a decision. Chelsea remain embroiled in a financial battle with Liverpool after they lost Rio Ngumoha to the Reds, with the Premier League now having to intervene as the youngster continues to blossom, further rubbing salt in the Blues' wounds. The 16-year-old became the 4th youngest scorer in Premier League history when he netted in the 100th minute to seal a dramatic win for the Merseysiders at Newcastle on Monday. Ngumoha came off the bench late on and finished impressively to land the 3 points. Last year, the youngster left Chelsea and headed to Anfield in a highly controversial switch with the West Londoners believing they'd lost a generational talent, and Ngumoha is already delivering on that promise. The Daily Mail reported that a tribunal had been set to settle on a fee, but nearly a year on from the move taking place, a decision is yet to be made by the Premier League. Chelsea, though, believe that Ngumoha's stellar contribution on Monday night will further their case for compensation. A precedent was set a number of years when Liverpool paid around $4.3 million to Fulham after landing Harvey Elliott, who has gone on to become a first-team star, from their academy in a case that also went to a tribunal. Liverpool's successful move for Ngumoha did pass the Premier League's 5-step process, but that served as little solace to those at Chelsea, and the bad blood has continued. They were so frustrated that it's understood that the Blues banned Liverpool's youth scouts from attending academy matches. Ngumoha was named player of the tournament when Chelsea's under-16s were crowned national champions in 2023, and that no doubt put him on the radar of several top clubs, with Liverpool now standing to benefit as a result. Arne Slot is very aware of the quality that his teenager possesses and made it clear he was set for involvement this season. In light of Monday's magic moment, the Liverpool boss said, "It's, of course, special for him to score a goal in a moment like this. Academy prospects moving between some of England's biggest names is not uncommon. Last season, the highly rated striker Cheeto Obi Martin turned down the chance to sign his first professional contract with Arsenal and chose to continue his career at Manchester United instead." Liverpool transfer news. Players make Alexander Isak demand as Arne Slot's focus turns elsewhere. Alexander Isak's transfer saga shows no sign of progressing amid fresh speculation of a renewed push to sign defender Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace. The dust has not yet fully settled after what is already sure to go down as one of the Premier League games of the season, and breakout star Rio Ngumoha has become an overnight sensation thanks to his last gasp winner to break Newcastle's hearts. And while Arne Slot and Virgil van Dijk hailed the 16-year-old's impact, the club hierarchy have known about his potential, having broken their rules around paying young stars to keep him away from Chelsea. Meanwhile, there are no updates around the now tedious Alexander Isak saga, while focus must now surely be on whether the Reds try to sign Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace amid doubts over their defensive performances in the opening 2 weekends of the season. Here are the transfer tales from in and around Anfield with less than a week remaining before the summer window slams shut. Isak Solution Quick Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes says the players want Alexander Isak's transfer saga to be resolved as quickly as possible, with the striker still pushing for a move to Liverpool. Isak has not featured for Eddie Howe's side this season after refusing to join his teammates for pre-season and training alone for the whole summer. He has since released a statement complaining of broken promises from the Newcastle hierarchy, who hit back with their own message denying they had guaranteed he would be sold in this transfer window. Liverpool have already had a $110 million bid rejected for the Sweden international, with Newcastle understood to be valuing him at around $150 million. Speaking after Monday night's game, Guimarães said he had not spoken to Isak about the situation, but urged the club to find a conclusion to the saga to allow the team to focus on the season ahead. Guehi assistance. Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji has emerged as a target for Crystal Palace in a transfer which could help facilitate Marc Guehi's departure to Liverpool. Palace are scouring the market for central defenders, in case Liverpool meet their valuation for Guehi before the summer transfer window closes on Monday. The Palace captain has entered the final year of his contract, and chairman Steve Parish has admitted they would have little option to sell now in order to avoid losing him for free next summer. Oliver Glasner has made it clear they won't sanction Guehi's departure before the second leg of their Conference League playoff against Fredrikstad on Thursday, but the deal could still be completed over the weekend if a compromise is found between Palace's $45 million valuation and Liverpool's of around $35 million NGUMOHA. Exception, the Reds operate under a strict wage structure for academy graduates, but they made a rare exception in 2024 to lure Rio Ngumoha to Merseyside. Although the teenager is officially on a scholar's contract worth $1,200 per month, his deal is supplemented by a package of bonuses that can substantially increase his earnings. Such incentives are rarely offered at academy level, ESPN report, underlining both how highly Liverpool rate Ngumoha and the measures they were willing to take to ensure Chelsea wouldn't keep hold of him. Ngumoha, born in London, first joined Chelsea's youth setup in 2016 and was widely regarded as a future first-team player. Former club captain John Terry, who has worked in the academy in recent years, hailed him on social media as a top player after news of his move to Anfield broke. Alexander Isak transfer latest and conditions for Liverpool move amid outcome of Newcastle meeting. Alexander Isak transfer latest, with Newcastle United still wanting to keep the Liverpool target, but the player's preference remains unchanged with 5 days until the deadline. Alexander Isak and Liverpool. The saga continues. And with the game between Newcastle United and the Reds now out of the way, news on what happens next is eagerly awaited. After meeting with the Newcastle owners earlier, this week at his home, Isak still wants to leave and join Liverpool, the Daily Mail reports. That is hardly a surprise. Isak has been staunch in his position all summer and wasn't going to change it now. The problem is that Newcastle has been equally as committed to its not-for-sale stance. The ideal from everyone is, we want clarity, Eddie Howe said on Monday, admitting that he wasn't party to the conversations that were had. We want the narrative to change, so Saudi chief Yasir Al Rumayyan's presence is much appreciated from my perspective. He is the owner. He is the most important person in terms of any decisions we make. When Newcastle responded to Isak breaking his silence last midweek with a statement of its own, it referenced conditions for a sale. It would need a replacement, probably 2 players rather than just one, and for its price tag to be met. Jørgen Strand Larsen is one target for Newcastle. It saw a bid worth around $68 million, $50 million, knocked back over the weekend and has since returned with another offer of $74 million, $55 million, the Daily Mail reports, which has also been rejected. A bid worth $81 million, $60 million would be too much for Wolves to reject, the Northern Echo reports. However, the Norwegian played and scored twice for the Midlands side on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup, helping to eliminate West Ham. An exit then doesn't appear imminent. Jon Wissa, meanwhile, was previously the subject of an offer worth around $54 million, $40 million, including add-ons. Newcastle has wanted the Brentford star for some time, and the player is desperate to make the move to a Champions League outfit. News of that last bid emerged over a week ago, though, and there has been little in the way of concrete updates since. Nicholas Jackson could be another option, though Aston Villa is also in the race for the Senegalese. Jackson worked with Unai Emery at Villarreal, however, and might favor the chance to reunite with the Spaniard. Isak is still training alone at the moment, and he still wants to leave. But Newcastle could demand as much as $200 million, $150 million for his services, an inflated fee, even if it gets sufficient replacements and sanctions a deal. There are 5 more days remaining in the summer transfer market after today, with the 7 p.m. UK time cutoff point on Monday already in view. Isak's position remains clear, but the clock is ticking increasingly loudly. Liverpool transfer news as midfielder move agreed and Marc Guehi decision made. Liverpool transfer news as an Arne Slot midfielder agrees a loan move away, and Marc Guehi makes a decision on his future amid speculation emerging about Man City. Alexander Isak is the name on the lips of most people when it comes to Liverpool right now. But as news is awaited on what comes next for the Swede, other things are happening. Liverpool has a few players who could head out on loan before the end of the window, with decisions to be made on several young talents. And incomings might not just be focused on Isak, with Marc Guehi still an option as well. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. For once, we don't begin with the latest on Isak, with a couple of other stories taking the limelight instead. James McConnell, Ajax on loan. Liverpool midfielder. James McConnell has agreed a new 5-year contract at Anfield. He will soon head out on loan to the Dutch giant Ajax, with an agreement in place for a season-long loan. It is understood that several clubs in the Championship, including West Bromwich Albion, Ipswich Town, and Hull City, were also interested in the 20-year-old. The Austrian outfit Sturm Graz was also very keen. However, the player was attracted to the appeal of playing for a club of Ajax's size and stature. Playing in the Champions League was also a big appeal and is a good stage for McConnell to show what he can do. Ajax finished second in the Eredivisie last season, with Arne Slot's former assistant coach John Heitinga at the helm. He and McConnell worked together on Merseyside and will link up again. McConnell's medical will take place later this week ahead of the switch being confirmed. He was involved at senior level for Liverpool 4 times last season, but his opportunities would have been limited again if he stayed. Liverpool.com says, McConnell is a really good passer of the ball. Like Tyler Morton, he just needs the right stage to perform on. Competing for minutes with Ryan Gravenberch and co. is a stretch too far right now. Marc Guehi, Crystal Palace. With Ibrahima Konate having struggled at times at St. James's Park earlier, this week, links with Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi haven't gone anywhere. He is out of contract in 2026. Liverpool.com reported earlier that Crystal Palace is interested in the Manchester City centre-back Manuel Akanji, though it remains to be seen how keen the player would be on moving to Selhurst Park, Bayer Leverkusen. And Galatasaray are also thought to be considering Akanji. If he does go to Crystal Palace, that could free Guehi up to leave South London. Crystal Palace CEO Steve Parish has already made clear that he doesn't want to lose Guehi for nothing next summer. Having given away his bargaining position, though, Liverpool will not be paying over the odds. Manchester City has been linked with Guehi in the last couple of days, but it is understood that he only wants to join Liverpool. The player might have to wait another year before making the switch, but has his heart set on a move to Anfield. Liverpool.com says, Guehi would be a good option for Liverpool, but the Reds can afford to wait, having signed Giovanni Leone. A game of brinkmanship is about to begin.